Put down your baby and pick up a beer. Dad Jokes is back with their 99th episode. I'm Jerry, joined here by Brandon, and a very special guest today. Our good friend Tyler Clark is here with us as you listen to the podcast of two first-time dads going through the journey of fatherhood, while you all get to sit back and laugh as we do it. So, Brandon, how are you doing? And Tyler, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. That was a great intro for a new guest. You introduced both of us at the same time, so now he's probably when to jump
I wanted
in.
like one sentence from you and then like a lot from Ty, but you kind of just...
My other sentence is real presumptive of you to assume that they're laughing with us while they're listening.
Well, they're laughing at you, apparently, but I don't know. Anyways, Ty, what's going on? I'd rather talk to you today than Brandon, because clearly he's on one. So what's going on, Ty?
Oh, not too bad, man. I'm enjoying life. Happy to be here, man. Appreciate it.
I like it. And Ty, we got you on the show for those of you listening because you are an expecting father. So kind of tell us a little bit about where you're at in your father journeyhood so everyone at home can hear.
Yeah, so we're about 28 weeks in. Our due date is February 22nd. So yeah, we're about we're just getting into the third trimester. So still all new to us. I'm a first time parent here, so just kind of learning a little, everything that comes into parenthood, and yeah.
Yeah, that's exciting. It's hard to remember. We started recording kind of around this time frame, Brandon.
Yeah, pretty much exactly where he is.
Yeah, so a lot's happened since then for us, but you'll get there one day, Ty, and we'll smile along with you. But this show is called Dad Jokes for a reason. Exactly. And we got dad jokes for you today. Not one, not two, but three dad jokes because we got three people on the podcast. So, Brandon, I think me and you will both hit us with some dad jokes to start off, and then we'll have Ty kind of finish with probably the best one because our guests always have the best one at the end of the show. So why don't you lead off, my friend?
Ty, Jerry, what has two butts and kills people? Two butts and kills people. An assassin.
Nice. I like that.
Oh,
that was a good one. Okay.
That was a good Jerry reaction.
I like it.
It was. All right. Mine's a little interesting. You guys ready for it?
Yes, sir.
Ready.
What do you call a sexuality when you're attracted to both men and women, but they're not attracted to you?
I'm not going to answer because I saw this when I was looking for mine. You want me to tell you what it is?
No, it's called by yourself.
Yeah.
You're by yourself.
Nice.
I like
Jerry must have you must have been on Reddit today looking at
Actually, it wasn't on Reddit, but it was on a site that I saw it on. But that was pretty funny. I laughed at that one. So two decent dad jokes there. Not to start off, but
let me tell you about yourself a little bit, Jerry. I ran that by Kelsey like 2 weeks ago because when I saw it, she's like, Jerry's not gonna like that one. So she doesn't know.
She doesn't know. That's right. She clearly doesn't know quite as well. I like that. But yeah, so Brandon, what's been going on in the Banks household? We haven't talked for a couple of weeks, and I feel like, I don't know about you, but in our household, we've had a lot of things happen. It actually kind of surprised me preparing for the show. I was like, man, we've done a lot these last 2 weeks. What about you guys?
Yeah, I mean, we pretty much had a holiday and a half since the last time we talked. Thanksgiving basically we recorded a little bit earlier 2 weeks ago, because both you and I had, the Thanksgiving holiday to celebrate with family. For us, what that looks like is my parents come, Kelsey cooks a big feast for us, which is a testament to her because my dad is not the type to not let you know how he feels, and he cleans his plate.
What's his favorite dish? What's the most important thing to Dad Banks?
Honestly, her macaroni and cheese is fire. So he always gets macaroni and cheese, gets some mashed potatoes, kind of mix them together. But he grabs everything. She can throw down, which is pretty impressive. So from a Bryce perspective, it's always fun. It's always cool. It's cool to me too from my parents because they are Bryce's like daycare, for lack of a better way to put it. It's always good to see them get to be like just grandparents without having like the responsibility of watching them. So with Kelsey and I around, it's always super fun. And then the following day, we drive up to Grand Rapids every Thanksgiving, and Kelsey's parents are. When I first met them, they were a vegetarian. Now they're vegan. So we have a vegetarian Thanksgiving, which for those of you who are not vegetarian or vegan, probably sounds absolutely crazy. But her dad.
That's one word for it.
Her dad is her dad's incredible. He has like a vegan blog, like cooking blog, excuse me. He can throw down and everything tastes great. So we had a good time there. Bryce got to hang with his grandparents on his mom's side. And that wasn't the only time, because this past weekend we had a really well planned trip to visit Santa Claus for the first time, and we haven't really spent too much time with Bryce, like going over Santa Claus. I personally am still debating on how that's gonna go in our household. Here we go. But I'm probably gonna lose that battle. That probably
you already lost that battle and don't know it yet. You already lost that battle.
Let me tell you that. So on Saturday, that's when everything was planned. But Friday night, the community that we live in have like a tree lighting ceremony, like Christmas fireworks. They do a big trail that's completely lit up, and then Santa Claus is there as well. And we basically went there for the fireworks, the tree lighting, to walk the trail. Santa Claus came out. We knew we were going to see Santa Claus the next day. This was Friday night. We knew we had the big, like 6-month out plan Santa trip coming on Saturday. Bryce saw Santa Claus. I'm really rarely talk to him about Santa Claus. He saw him, and for the entire time we were there, he just kept saying, Santa, Santa, where's Santa? I looked at Kelsey, I was like, man, we gotta get in line to meet Santa Claus now. This dude won't stop talking about Santa Claus. So in line the whole time, he's getting excited. We meet Santa. Or we go up to meet Santa. And if you look at the podcast Instagram or Facebook page, you can see a picture up there of what happened when it actually came time to meet Santa Claus. This dude caught the Holy Ghost and decided he wanted to buck off Santa and give it all to God. And he tried to roll off of him, which is pretty much the exact thing that happened the next day when we met Santa Claus. So Bryce loves to talk about it. Likes to walk away, likes to walk up, does not like to interact with Santa Claus.
He talks the talk, he don't walk the walk.
Exactly. So that was fun. It was a really good time the next day because both my parents and her parents were there at the same time, and so basically you got like his favorite people in the world all together, which is cool. And then the last thing, I mentioned the last couple episodes, and it's normal, but he's developed a stutter, and that's something that is like everything that you research tells you to like kind of calm down, act like it doesn't exist. Don't tell them like to slow down, which is your inclination when it's happening. Don't necessarily try to finish the sentence for them. Basically, let the stutter and what they're trying to say finish, and you can talk slowly with them and try to talk more slowly. But it's getting to the point where he's getting, you can tell, a little bit frustrated. And it seems like it is getting a little bit worse. So we have to, it's the hardest thing, but we got to pretty much just chill out and wait it out to a degree and see what happens. But it's definitely on our radar right now. We're trying to do what we can in the meantime to help figure it out. But I probably should have started with that and ended with the
It'll be something at his graduation party or something when he's giving you a hard time. You'll be like, yeah, well, you used to stutter.
I definitely got it on video. So if there's ever a point where it's funny, then it'll come out. But right now,
he's back talking to you one day. You're gonna hit him with something. So that's what's gonna happen. I can see it.
We'll get there. Just gotta wait. What y'all been up to?
Yeah. We've been up to a ton, I'll try to keep it condensed a little bit, but the big thing was the day after we recorded last time was Peyton's second birthday, her actual birthday, which was a lot of fun. In the morning, she woke up, I took the day off work, Macy was off work, we took her downstairs, and Macy had all her stuffed animals set up with like party hats on, and like her presents laid out on the couch and stuff, and she thought that was super cool, and then she opened some presents and stuff, was having a blast playing with those. And then I got excited because I had built that Jeep that I bought for her. I bought her, a ride-on Jeep. I put it together. I went all out on it, was super geeked. Took her out to see it. It was really cold outside. Took her outside. She saw it. She was super excited, thought it was cool. And then I made the mistake, Brandon, of thinking I should put her in it, because, well, it drives. I want to put her in it. She did not like that. Started screaming bloody murder and then wanted nothing to do with the Jeep and hasn't wanted anything to do with the Jeep since. So that's a little bit of a letdown, but I'm sure here in a little bit she'll start to love it. The big thing, too, is she doesn't like the cold, so being out in the cold doesn't help. But, yeah, the big surprise present did not go over that well. So hopefully here in a few months she grows into that. But then after that we went to the movies, which was the first time she's ever been to the movies, and we saw Trolls, the new Trolls movie, which is super cute. If anyone out there is maybe thinking about seeing it, and she did great, Brandon. She did good from the beginning to the end. She sat with me a little bit. She sat with Macy a little bit. She ate some pretzels. And one time she dropped a water on the guy next to us, who also had kids, of course, so he wasn't too upset. But other than that, she did fantastic. She couldn't have done better, so that was super good. And then we went home. She took a nap, had some Mexican food for dinner, which she ate a ton of. She loves rice, and kind of hung out at the house. So we played with some Magna tiles. It was a good day. It was a really good day.
I
so
can't
she had a
get
great
Bryce to
second
sit
birthday.
still ever for anything. I cannot imagine the terror I would have trying to have him sit.
She did great. I know. I mean, I was a little nervous, and she does pretty good with that at home, but I was nervous still, and she did fantastic. We left Avery with my my in-laws at home because I would not trust her in the movie theater, but Peyton did great, so that was exciting. And then right after that was the day after was Thanksgiving, which Macy had to work, so I took the girls over to my mom's house. Had a good day there, minus our Lions losing. That was a bummer. But other than that, the girls did great. Played with some other kids, and Macy ended up getting out of work a little bit early, so that was fun too. So that was a good holiday for sure. But for us, Avery's had a weird couple weeks. She was doing really good at night, and we were feeling good about it. Like, okay, she's starting to sleep good, almost like waking up once a night, almost through the night type of thing. And then she had a horrible spell where she was waking up 3-4 times and wouldn't go back to bed. And then the last few nights she's been kind of back to her normal self where she wakes up maybe 2-3 times. I don't know. She's been all over the place basically. So, but other than that, she's growing a ton. She's super chunky right now and big, and she's making tons of faces and noises and rolling all over the place, and she seems to be a lot happier during the day too. So she's been a lot of fun. Still can't get her to eat nothing. Doesn't want nothing to do with food, which Peyton, Macy's doesn't seem to remember it this way, but I feel like she wanted food right away as soon as we tried. But it was but we'll get there. We keep trying. We just made some carrots. We're gonna try, I think this weekend, so that'll be good. Peyton's been doing fairly well with stuff. She's been lots of fun. Her speech is still exploding, which is exciting. She's saying new things every day. She's saying 3, 4, 5-word sentences. She loves Santa right now. You mentioned Santa. She's Santa and ho-ho all the time. So she's doing great with that. But she seems to be a little bit moody lately. I don't know, a little bit of jealous, a little bit of clinginess, and then just moody and no really rhyme or reason. One thing that seems to trigger her sometimes is definitely clothes. She randomly wants certain clothes on or doesn't want certain clothes on, or shoes are evil all of a sudden, or has to have certain shoes on. But she's got a little bit of those terrible twos that I remember that you had with Bryce early on in 2, and then it kind of went away. So I'm hoping that happens with us. She seems to be up and down. So we'll see what happens. I'm sure she'll simmer down. But other than that, a couple other things. Avery's doing her jumper now. She's in her jumper, and she loves it. So that's great because the kid loves to kick constantly and will not sit still. We went to your guys' house, and Bryce and Peyton got together and had a great time. Actually, Ty, you were there too. We watched the Michigan game, which was great. Michigan got that win over Ohio State, which was fantastic. And the kids played really well together. They were doing great together like they always do. And then
if we have any listeners in Florida, Florida State did not deserve to get in over Alabama.
They absolutely deserve to get in. Well, we're not going to get into that on this podcast. But yeah, no, they did great. And then actually I went to the Big Ten championship game, and Macy, while I was there, took the girls with her parents to a reindeer farm. And Peyton got to see Santa and some reindeer, and she did really well, and I got a lot of pictures, so that was cool too. So we're getting, this coming weekend, we're going to see Santa again, and we got some events scheduled, so we're excited for those. But she's definitely getting into the Christmas spirit. And when we go over baby gear, I'll kind of go over something that's helped with that. But that's kind of been what's been going on with us, Brandon. Speaking of baby gear, do you got a piece of baby gear to go over this week?
I got a couple quick things. One, we recently bought the Fisher-Price Little People Farmhouse. It was half off at Target, and I think you might still be able to snag that deal. So that's something Bryce has been playing with for just a little bit. And I texted you guys all in a group chat. It's probably like a week ago at this point. But Amazon accidentally, this is more of a flex than baby gear because it's too late now. But Amazon had a $5 off of books, and it was supposed to be $5 off like your $20 book purchase, but it basically was $5 off any book. And a ton of kids like books are $5 or just a little bit above. So Kelsey is a part of a couple different Reddit groups. Saw that on there, jumped on it, and we just got like a bunch of books for probably $4 total. They're like 20 cents a piece. So it's always, in my opinion, important to like stay in like Facebook groups, Reddit groups, even if you don't check them all the time. Maybe turn notifications on, check them periodically. Sometimes you run across something like that. We got Bryce's crib, which we just bought a new crib. Bryce's crib was normally like $550. We got it for less than $200 because of a fluke like that. Tried to buy something similar, and we bought the new baby a significantly worse from a dollar perspective crib.
It already began. It's already begun.
$500.
It's already begun. Second baby stuff. I love it.
Not gonna happen. So hope maybe he transitions to Bryce's crib at some point. But I won't spend $500 on the crib.
I don't blame you. Our second crib was gifted to me by my sister who was done having kids, so I can't say anything. And it's been great. So, but yeah, our piece of baby gear, Brandon, is kind of Christmas related. We're big into traditions and Christmas and doing things kind of in our family. And I think my mother-in-law bought this for us actually. But it's called the Santa's Kindness Compass Shaped Christmas Ornament. And basically it's an ornament that's got a QR code on it, and you scan it with your phone, and then it's got like 2 to 3 videos of Santa every day.
Toddlers to scan a QR code?
No, you do it as a parent. And then the kid watches the videos of Santa, and the Santa tells the kids kind of what's going on, but it also gives them like activities to do. And it comes with like a journal where you as a parent can like take pictures and put stuff in there if you want. Honestly, it's probably best for kids like 3, 4, 5, but Peyton loves it. She loves watching the videos. She doesn't necessarily understand the things she's supposed to be doing, but she thinks it's cool to watch Ho-Ho on the phone. So we do that every day. And then another piece of baby gear, this isn't really one specific thing, but something we do every single year is we get a special advent calendar. And like last year we had a bluey one. This year we have one that's like Disney Princesses Polly Pocket kind of thing. And Peyton loves that. She wants to do that every day. Today she got a Belle doll. She thought that was fantastic. But there's tons of them out there. If you guys don't, an advent calendar, you can find one for $20 to, you can spend like $80 if you want a really fancy one. But they're kind of fun to do with your kids. They get excited about them. It's something, every night she'll point at it and she'll want to do it. So that's been fun. And it's fun finding new ones too, because like I said, we've done a different one every year pretty much since me and Macy have been together. I mean, we used to do like Lego Star Wars and stuff like that. Now it's more around the kids, but it is fun.
So this is a question for both you guys. You're bringing up holiday stuff. Did you do Elf on a Shelf when you were a kid? Was that a thing for you guys?
Not for me.
No.
Never once did it.
No, it was after me. My nieces did that, but I never did.
Never heard of it. Never saw it before. My childhood experience was a little bit different. Like we didn't. I can't say this. There were certain things that we didn't believe anyway. I just put it like that. But this Elf on a Shelf thing. Hey, Christmas is creepy. Okay, like the commercialized Christmas. You got a dude who comes in your house, basically breaks in, eats your food, drinks your milk, and then it might leave you some coal or a present. Okay, that's one thing. And then this elf, like you pose it in different places. It's just watching the kid and to report back to the burglar. Like what's going on? But I'm saying that to say we bought an Elf on the Shelf. And it's actually pretty. I'm joking. It's pretty fun, like posing this thing. It's like a kit, where it gives you like a different scene like every day, and you pose it.
Does Bryce like it?
Well, he's intrigued by it, but he really just wants to touch it. And I guess one of the rules is you're not supposed to touch the elf. So, yeah, shout out to Ralphie. We named him Ralphie the elf.
Ralphie the elf. I like it.
And the burglar.
I like it. Well, enough about Ralphie the elf and commercialization of Christmas. We won't get into that topic. But today, we wanted to bring Ty on the show for our 99th episode because, like we mentioned, Ty, you're kind of at the point where we kind of were when we started this whole podcast, which sometimes it's fun to kind of look back and see where your kind of mindset is, and then kind of talk about things, all things dads, I guess, is what we're going to get into today. So, I guess the first thing, what did it feel like when you first found out you guys, were going to be having a kid? Like, what was that feeling like when you found out? And I guess kind of how you found out too. Like, how were you told?
Yeah, so we were definitely planning on having a child. So it was something that we were I was very much aware of as to what was going on. I knew that she was going to be testing, that sort of thing, and so it was really her first test, and I was right there with her. She did her thing. I was just over in the next room, just trying to keep my mind off of it.
You weren't holding the stick or nothing like that?
Nope. It was all her, and she did all the work. And so she came out of the bathroom, and we just started to rejoice, and we knew right away. Like we just had that feeling. And I mean, it's I feel like I imagine that most people are like this, right? It's every emotion that you could possibly have happens all in that one tiny time frame, right? You're excited, you're anxious, it's all of those things, right? So I mean, we're obviously very excited. So yeah, we're just looking forward to what's going to come ahead.
Jerry, I don't know about you, but that moment is like stamped in my mind. Like I could like close my eyes and remember both moments at this point where like I found out, but it like Ty said, it's every single emotion you could possibly feel. You're crying really potentially. Well, I guess except for anger, I wasn't really mad.
Well, and the funny part is, it's almost like a microcosm of like the next 9 months, right? Because you start going, like, I'm sure Ty, you've started this already, but like it's like drawn out, right? You'll be like really excited for like a week or two, and then all of a sudden you're like nervous, and then all of a sudden you're anxious, and then all of a sudden you're like impatient, or you're like started like over worrying or whatever it is. You kind of go through it all in phases, but like in that moment you have it all. So I remember that too. But I mean, I guess kind of, have you gone through that a little bit, Ty, where it's been like, okay, this is a really fun phase, and then all of a sudden it's like, what the heck are we doing? I feel like it's been 20 weeks forever or whatever. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, so just to kind of walk you through my thought process, since I found out, I mean, right when I find out, I'm going through like, that stage where you got to learn everything. You had that realization, like, okay, this is actually happening. Like I gotta learn about this kind of stuff. I need to figure out how to be a dad. So you read everything that you can possibly read. You try to get advice from everyone, and then you quickly realize that this is a marathon. Like this is not something that you don't have a child just like a week later, right? It's a 9-month process, and so you quickly realize that this is not sustainable. You gotta kind of kick on the brakes and realize that you got time to figure things out, and there's not, you can't figure everything out anyways. Like you can't read about how to be a dad. Like you just got to experience it sometimes, and that's what I quickly realized. But yeah, I mean, you have good moments, you have bad moments, you have moments where you're scared, you realize that you don't know what you're doing, so a little bit of everything.
Has there been like maybe when you were doing that research, like either a book or a website or something that you kind of like have liked, an app even, anything that from a research standpoint, or that just kind of like been like you felt like good for you?
Not really. I just kind of, whenever there's a topic that comes to mind that I realize that I know nothing about, or, if one of my buddies, like including you guys, if you bring up something that I've never heard of or I didn't know you were supposed to do, it just kind of, it's one of those moments where you jot it in the back of your head and then you quickly go home and Google it. But there's no like specific websites that I loved, or books that I loved. And to be honest with you, it's not like like I said, it was kind of out of the gun. I was sprinting, and then after only 2 books, I'm like, I don't know why I'm doing this. Like I still got some time, and I honestly, I'm at the point now where I have not read anything. I have not like really looked anything up for quite some time. So I feel like I'm kind of in like the eye of the storm, and once a month out, I'm going to start going into that same phase where I'm sprinting again, trying to catch up. What I haven't been researching for the past 7 months or so.
And you kind of brought it up where it's a marathon, not a sprint. And I think Jerry and I both, we tried to sprint for almost as long as possible in the beginning. Like I was buying baby gear before we had like a registry. We were doing a bunch of dumb stuff to a degree.
We were probably more prepared at 3 months to have a kid than we actually were at 9 months because we had sprinted so far.
It's crazy. And then you sit and you wait, and you're at the stage that you're at right now. And honestly, I struggle with that. Like I didn't know how to calm down. I felt like, because from a dad's perspective and a prospective dad's perspective, you're not doing anything. Your wife is doing all the work. Your wife is having the physical manifestations of being pregnant. You can see the growth in her. You can see face changing, body changing, not feeling well, feeling fine. Everything's, and you feel like you aren't playing a part. Have you?
Well, your day to day is not changing much, right? Your day to day is pretty much the same. Her day to day is completely different.
Right. And even the stuff you do takes like it don't take that long to put the nursery together. Really, you talking about maybe a day or two of your time, and they spend 9 months doing it. Have you felt like you've struggled at all? Because you seem, from my end, to be like way more at peace at it than I was, which is great.
Yeah, I actually do feel at peace. I feel like there's always something that you can do. I mean, it doesn't seem like a direct impact per se, but I mean, for me, my job is to take care of her, right? I mean, I feel like that's probably a common answer for future dads, right? But it really is. And if I'm taking care of her, I'm taking care of the child. So, I mean, it's just little stuff, even like, making sure that I'm cooking and doing some, the household chores so that she doesn't have to. And now she's, getting into the 3rd trimester. I mean, she's getting a lot more winded. So there's just, small things here and there, even if it's just to go grab something that's over on the other side of the room, I'll go grab that for her. So, I do feel at peace. I feel like I think there's always something that you can do to help the situation, whether, you may not feel like you're directly involved because you're not the one carrying the child. But if you're proactive, there's always something that can be done, right? Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
And then it's funny, Brandon, actually, I got a question for you. Cause like you're talking about how your experience was obviously when Kelsey was pregnant with Bryce. This pregnancy, you've seen completely different, which I know I was completely different during the 2nd pregnancy. Do you feel like it's just a totally different world? Like it's not even like you said, maybe I'm wrong, but like you probably forget half the time. I don't want to say forget, but like it's almost like, it's just crazy how different it is.
In the beginning, I don't want to say I forgot, even though I quite literally, if you listen back to episodes, said that I forgot. You don't quite forget, but it's not. The difference is it's not forgetting. It's just not top of mind all the time, which is literally like it was top of mind with Bryce. It dominated your thoughts. Everything you do was about that. But the difference is, and we've talked about this on previous episodes, I got a growing now 2-year-old who something new is happening every day with him. So that impacts it a ton. It's funny you say that though, because we're starting to get to the point where we feel like a little bit of a crunch to just make sure stuff is just locked in. But in the back of my head, I'm like, push come to shove, I got a nursery already set up. I got the books. I got all this. I got to pull the stuff out of storage, but it's there. Like, I have everything I need, really. What we have to do is transition Bryce's room, which means that the room that I'm sitting in right now, which is basically my closet, Kelsey and I have to combine, that might be more of a chore than putting Bryce's entire nursery together, because I got a lot of stuff.
Well, and the baby's going to be in your room for the first whatever, too, so you do get time on that. But it is different.
Tell yourself that, but...
Yeah, and then it becomes hard. Well, Ty, one thing that you guys are doing that I absolutely love, and I think of all the people like close in our friend group, I'm the only one who's done it so far, but like you're doing it now, and I'm super excited about it, is you guys are not finding out the sex of the baby. And that is something, like I said, I mean, we did it with Peyton. If we have another kid, I'm definitely going to push to do it again. But I guess, why did you come to that decision, and how's that been for you guys?
Well, it was not anything on my end, I'll tell you that, because I am very much. I
was surprised. I was shocked when you did. Yeah, I was shocked that you did it.
It was tough for me, honestly. Like it was just one of those. So yes, it was my wife Morgan that was a proponent of that option. But yeah, no, it was just one of those things where, like, again, like, what can you do, right? As a future dad, and that's to agree with your wife on some decisions that you may not agree with even. But yeah, I mean, it's you know what? Now that I have actually gone through the process, I thought I would have a harder time with this, right? Like, I don't know. Now that I'm all the way through like the first 2 trimesters, it hasn't been as nearly as bad as I thought it was. And in fact, it's a lot more exciting. It makes the whole process of waiting and the actual having the baby a little bit more exciting, because you have something extra to look forward to, right? So you kind of prolong that excitement, that way you don't find out, early on in the pregnancy. So it's obviously tough when it comes to, again, I'm the planner, so it's tough when it comes to trying to figure out, like, okay, what do you want to paint the nursery? What kind of clothes do you want? Like that kind of stuff. A lot of greens and yellows that we literally just...
we did gray. We were gray.
Gray is good too. Yep. We just painted our nursery. It was blue. So that was too much boy apparently. So we got to go to the green and yellow. So that's what the nursery looks like now. But yeah, no, it's exciting. I'm really looking forward to seeing what we actually get.
So Jerry, something you said the first time you guys, or with Peyton, that stuck with me, was it's one of the only times in your life you can truly be surprised by something, and it stuck with me because it makes sense, and in the back of my head that'd be a good reason to do it. I'm still not doing it, and we found out because I just need to know, but that is the case, and part of me envies whatever it is in you guys that can
well, it's interesting because Ty and me are probably the biggest probably planners of like our group, and we're the only ones who haven't done it. So it's almost like maybe we're so used to having things planned that something that's not planned is almost like intriguing to us. Because I was the same way, Ty. Like,
Ty is way more patient than you are, though. That's true. I can see it with Ty.
I thought it would drive me insane, and then I love it.
Cam waited too, for the record, in case he listens to this.
Oh, that's right. He did wait. I forgot.
That was with twins.
He did wait. That's true.
That's a different story.
That is different. That I don't know that I could have done, honestly. If you have twins and not, I would have probably had to have known. So I'll give him props for that. I forgot that he did. Yeah, I mean, the boys are so old now. It's like it's hard to remember back then. But yeah, you're right. He didn't know either. So, but Ty, speaking of this, do you got a gut feeling? Does Morgan have a gut feeling? Is your family telling you one way or another? Because I remember with us, everyone was telling us
everybody's
boy.
Wrong.
Everyone thought boy, and everybody was wrong. So, but that was like everybody was saying it. It was like 90% of people were saying that. So I don't know if you guys are the same way or if you've had like kind of a different experience.
For the record, I thought you were going to have a girl. There was no question about it. But
so you were the one. You were the one.
I was the one. I was the one. You needed someone to humble you in your life.
Exactly. That is true. 100%. I got two of them, and they're doing a great job of it every day.
No, I think. For me, I think it's going to be a boy. That's my kind of inkling. It's funny how passionate people are, though. We have family members literally only call it she. It's only her and she. Like they refuse to say he. It's so funny to me. And we even we just recently hosted the baby shower. And so, we're going through the gifts, and even some of the gifts are like, girl clothes and everything. And one of the people came up to us and they're like, I just have a feeling it's a girl. And she hands us the bag, and it has, the ruffled clothes and shirts and stuff, and pink and it's for sure going to be a boy now. But yeah, I mean,
well, it's going to be I'm sorry, Ty, but Macy thinks it's a girl, so it's 1,000% going to be a boy, because she's not been right one single time. So she told me the other day, she's like, I think Ty and Morgan are having a girl. I'm like, oh, he's having a boy. I'm like, sorry, Ty. Well, I don't want to say sorry, like it's not a bad thing, but I'm like, well, it's been decided. Like I already know now. So now it's, I don't even think of anything anymore. I just let her tell me, and I know it's the opposite. So.
I mean, the cool thing is both Tyler and Morgan are unisex names, so you could have a junior or a second on either side.
That's true. So if I remember correctly, it's usually the guy, right, that dictates. It's the sperm that's it's either the guy, X or Y.
It's 100% the guy. Yep.
Okay, I just want to make sure I remember my biology.
This is also an explicit-free podcast, Ty, so I
can't say sperm. Oh, my bad. Yeah. You can edit that out, right? But yeah, so most of my family is boys. So that's part of the reason why I think it's going to be a boy. I don't know if that has any factor of anything, but it's just, you look at our buddy Wade. There's a lot of boys in his family, and he's going through the same situation where he's having a third boy actually as of recently. Well,
yeah, as we're having this podcast, they might be having their third boy. Yeah. So. Yeah, we all got there's so many boys around, I think it's just also almost an easy guess, because pretty much everyone has boys except for me. So, it would be, I don't know. I know they say you flip a coin, it's 50-50, but it seems like we lean towards the boys in our friend group. So, that's exciting though. I'm excited for you guys to find out. It is a cool moment, and it's I don't know. It's obviously once you go through it, you'll experience that too. I am excited. Now, as far as like the naming process goes, though, because obviously there's boy and girls. Have you landed on one name or the other, or neither names? Are you getting close? What's going on with the naming process?
Gosh. Yeah, this is this is a challenge in the household. So we originally agreed on a name. It was not official. It wasn't an official agreement. Okay, let me just throw that out there.
You didn't sign nothing.
And we didn't sign anything. Contract. But it was kind of understood that it was going to be one name. And this was only for a girl. Okay. So but now she's kind of backpedaling. It's like, well, there's this other name that I also really like, and I don't know if we're gonna actually choose this name. And so it's okay. So for me, my personality, once I land on something I like, I'll stick with it. Like I'm good. I don't need to have 30 other options thrown my way. Whereas for her, I think it's like a FOMO thing. Like if she's thinking like there's that one better name out there. But
I'm just like you, Morgan.
I'm sure she'll appreciate that. I will say though, it's kind of fun. Like there's some fun games that we play. So like, whenever we watch a movie, you get the credits at the end. It makes the credits a lot more interesting because we read through all the names and we just are like, how about that name? Like, no. But this may be, what is that?
Look at NBA and NFL mock drafts. See if you like the names there.
You did do that. Look, Brandon did that with the NBA draft with Bryce. I remember you looking through names.
And the name, it messed. Me and Kelsey got an argument. Now the name that she wanted there is going to be the name of our next kid, probably.
Ooh,
maybe.
And you got a middle name debate going on too. So you guys got all kinds of debates going on.
I'm losing that one. We'll see.
Guys,
that should be the title of our podcast. Brandon's losing that one. Kelsey will like that. She'll sign off on that.
I'm not gonna lie. I lost it. She basically said, "Ain't no way." It's not gonna happen. So we'll see. But you brought up, you guys just hosted the baby shower. Do you have a favorite piece of baby gear yet? Anything as you guys were building the registry that kind of jumped out or you're nerding out about?
I know you guys are big gear guys. I'm not so much a big gear guy. I don't think.
Oh, hold on a second, Ty. We've been to your house.
Okay.
We know what room you're in right now.
Yeah.
Don't tell me you're not into gear. You got the best
right.
setup I've ever seen.
So this is the way I think about it, right? If you are not the cook in your household, you know that you need a knife, you know you need pots and pans, right? But you don't know like what specifically that you need in those products. That's where I'm at right now. Like I know I need a crib, I know I need, a car seat, but I'm not that kind of guy that like knows exactly what you need until you actually get in that moment. And that's where I'm at.
That's where Ellie the stroller guy comes in.
Oh,
You watch his
Ellie.
videos.
Oh gosh, is this a YouTube thing?
Yes. A very interesting YouTube
Or
guy
you can
on
just
strollers.
ask Jerry. He's very opinionated about a very specific
Well,
brand.
that's the thing too, is I got friends that can help me out, so that helps.
Oh, we can give you some piece of advice on baby gear that is good and not so good. But yeah, it is a little bit of a feel thing, and I will admit, I think Brandon would admit the same thing. We probably over nerded out about baby gear because some of it
I wish I was
doesn't
more like
matter.
Ty.
Yeah, but I mean, some of it's
No.
fun too. Some of it's fun.
I mean, I will
Some of it-
say, in general, I do. It is expensive, but
Mm-hmm.
in general, I do love strollers. Strollers are fun. I don't know why.
They are.
I'm a child at heart. I think it's just something about the pushing motion. But
Wait
I
till you
feel
get
like
to wagons. Wait till you upgrade to
gosh.
wagons.
well, and that and taking the stroller out of the trunk all the time, and I'm sure I'll probably lose that excitement real quick. But for now, it's I'll
Here's
say
one
the stroller.
thing that I have is I didn't realize, and some stuff you can't get around, but I didn't realize how long and how short 4 to 5 months could be. How long it could be if you don't have the right tool that can buy you an extra like 5-10 minutes of not having to like hover over your kid, but how short it can be when you look at how much you spent on something that they don't use, and you're like, oh, that was $300 down the drain. So I don't know if that's real advice, but it definitely it ate me up both ways. Where I was willing to spend some money that I didn't want to spend when I was 48 to 72 hours into no sleep. I'm not trying to scare you. Or the latest greatest toy that keeps their attention is out, and they're trying to get you to spend a significant amount of money on it. I'm out now. Should have been out. Yeah,
Noel. I mean, Avery's 5 months old, and Macy the other day was like, I think she's kind of outgrown her infant car seat. And the thing is, we have other car seats, so it's not a big deal. But in my head, I'm like, no, we get more use out of that infant car seat because Peyton used it for quite a while. But I was like, 5 months, that's all the use I'm going to get out of that thing.
And that's
she's
what
still
we did the
in
most
it,
research on.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm like, no. And then they expire after so long, so it's like, okay, we got to have another one before it expires because we're not buying another one.
Well, and all this newborn stuff, right? Like I could just I have a hard time wrapping my head around getting anything newborn when they're going to be in it for what, like a month?
That's the hard part, though. It's
baby.
how you don't know. Some babies might be in it for not even a week.
Exactly.
Some babies never wear it, and other babies it could be months. Like Peyton was small for a long time. Avery, she could have never worn newborn. Like so even it doesn't. I mean, I don't know.
I think it's easier though with the first child. If you're planning on having a second or third child, because then you at least know that, maybe I can get some use out of this. But yeah, I mean, obviously you just don't know what you don't know.
And you got to store it all. That's the hard part after the first kid. You just keep, because you're like, you might have more, but then you just have to store it all and wait. And then you have a boy, but then the next one's a girl. And then you're like, oh no, do I store both of them? Yeah. So
we actually waited on the newborn stuff. We bought enough to get us by in the beginning, and we waited to see ultimately how big the kid was when it came out, and then it was nothing for me or her to run out for 30 minutes and go buy what we needed at Target or Meijer or something like that.
I think that's the way to go.
Yeah. So Ty, is there anything that anything you're most excited about? I mean, obviously just fatherhood in general, but is there something that you're really, really looking forward to? And is there something that maybe you're really nervous about or more nervous about than other things?
Yeah, good question. Yeah, so I would say I'm probably most looking forward to, well, obviously just like meeting the child, right? And once they grow up, they develop. I'm really excited to learn about their personality and see, kind of what kind of a child, it turns out to be. But I'm just really looking forward to the whole family aspect. You guys were talking about what you do around the Christmas holidays and that sort of thing, and traditions were always a big thing with my family growing up, and so that's always something that I want to also establish in my family. I want to have traditions around all the holidays, and I think that's the part where I'm most looking forward to, and just kind of living vicariously through the child, they're not jaded by the world or anything. They're just excited about every little thing, and I think that's just it kind of brings that child out in you, and it's just an opportunity to live vicariously through them. So I would say that's the thing I'm looking forward to the most. But yeah, in terms of things that I may be more anxious about is, this is probably a cop-out answer, but you don't know what you don't know, right? It's the fear of the unknown. It's always the question, like, am I going to be a good dad? Like, am I skilled enough to be able to do everything I need to do to take care of this child? That sort of thing. So that kind of, again, it goes back to the phases where it kind of settles in every now and then. You're just kind of sitting by yourself and you're like, oh man, I forgot for a couple of seconds I'm going to be a dad and I got to figure all this out. But yeah, that's the part. And obviously life just changes. Like you got to get used to the fact that you're not going to be able to do all the things that you used to do. You're not going to have the same flexibility and independence that you used to. So it's just a whole life change. So, it's just getting used to the unknown. And again, I'm a planner. So, having a child, that's hard to plan. You just don't know what's going to happen, the next hour, the next minute. So, I think it's going to be a huge growth opportunity for me. And, I think the best thing that I was actually just talking to my sister-in-law, and she was like, yeah, the one thing when you're a parent is you just kind of expand. And when it comes to anything, your happiness expands, your exhaustion. You thought you knew exhaustion, you do not know exhaustion. So yeah, it's just a huge. So I guess that goes back to what I'm also looking forward to is just personal growth as well.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think Brandon and I both can say that it'll change you. I mean, people always joke about like when you become a parent, you all of a sudden become more emotional. And it does happen, and even I try to pretend like it doesn't sometimes. But like you'll be watching a stupid commercial with like a kid that like runs home from school. It's like for Folgers coffee.
Chevy commercial took me out.
Yeah, and then like you just all starting like start feeling in your heart like, oh no, or like a kid's going away to school and you're like, no, my kids are too. It's like you get emotional about just dumb stuff, and then you're like, you gotta check yourself. But it does. That's a great way to put it. Like
I'm feeling it now. Like Ty's sitting there talking, and I'm like, I'm gonna tell you guys what I was just thinking. It's crazy. It actually made me a little emotional. I'm like picturing, because Ty is like the resident golfer of our group, and I'm picturing like all of our. I suck at golf, by the way, but I'm picturing all our kids like together with us on the golf course, and we're like just having a good time teaching them, and just knowing what's coming for you. It just is like, I can't wait for you to feel how excited I am for you, for like the next person too, after you just experience this, because it's the best thing ever.
Yeah, it's definitely exciting.
Yeah, that's something that I think anyone will tell you is being a parent is both the hardest but also the best thing you'll ever do, and it's not even close. It's just awesome. It's awesome. I mean, it's hard, but it's awesome, and it's hard to describe feelings or the way you think about things until you go through it. And people said that to us, and you kind of like it sits, but then like now you're like, oh yeah, I get it. And then it's like, it's just nice because it's like almost like you're inviting people into a pact, right? So now you'll start understanding things, and you'll be like, I get it, and we're like, we know you get it now, and then you'll kind of do it to the next people. It's fun. It's a lot of fun, and I can't wait to see you. Spending time with us the other day, and Avery and Peyton and Bryce, did that get you more excited?
Awesome.
Did that scare you a little bit?
No, super excited. Yeah, no, you were just talking about emotions and everything, and it's like every time I see a young child or a baby, I'm like, man, I that's gonna happen to me in a few months here, and it's just crazy to think about, and it's super exciting. And yeah, seeing your guys' kids playing with each other is just the most adorable thing ever. Like, how do you not want to have a child after seeing them playing? Like, it's just super exciting, and I obviously can't wait for my child to join that group as well.
I can send you some videos that'll scare you if you want to do a different emotion.
Yeah, if you need to wait a little bit or want to wait a little bit, I'll FaceTime you at 3 a.m. this morning.
Well, I know. I'm trying to be ignorant for a little bit here.
Nah, and who knows? I got my one a cousin that's like, oh, my kid sleeps through the night every night since maybe you get that kid. So who knows too? You don't know until you know.
Crossing the fingers.
Yeah, so I'm excited for you. Like I said, I guess if there's one piece of advice I'd give you or whatever, it's just enjoy every moment and every stage. Because I've learned one thing, it's that there's pros and cons, and there's good things and tough things about every stage, but you only get to do those stages once with them. So enjoy it. Even the hard parts, enjoy it when they're a week old all the way through a month and then beyond. So soak it in, especially with the first one, because it is, Brandon will find out, it's tougher with the second one. And then you start feeling bad because it's tougher with the second one, because you're trying to experience firsts with the first one still and the second one at the same time simultaneously, and you can't do it. So but that first kid, definitely soak in every second. I guess that's my little piece of advice. I don't know if you got a parting piece of advice for Ty, Brandon.
Oh, for sure. I'm not going to be as sentimental as Jerry. Take an extra pillow to the hospital. That's my piece of advice to you.
That's
yes.
I like the practical advice. That's good.
Pillow.
Yeah,
and a
that's
blanket,
good.
maybe.
A pillow and a blanket, but an extra. Whatever pillow you take one more, because that whatever that chair couch is, it's inevitably at everyone is trash.
Yeah, it is. It is bad.
And don't play Nintendo Switch at Hurley, because the nurse will look at you like you crazy.
I was thinking about it.
Take a pillow. Yeah, take the pillow, and take some snacks, because who knows what that cafeteria food is. So be stocked up for sure.
Yeah, we had an activity at our baby shower, and one of the things was to write down advice. So we had about 30 different entries, and so we recently went over them, and I would say about 75% of them said the same thing as you, Jerry, is just soak it all in and really enjoy the moments. Yeah, because it flies by. Yeah, I mean we're all old enough to know that, right? It just life comes by too fast, and you look back at it and you realize how fun some of the moments were, and you're on to the next thing. So yeah, it's the same thing with children.
It is, and I can't wait to see you and Morgan be parents. I can't wait to meet your kid. I can't wait for all the kids to get together. It's exciting. It's all fun, And the nice thing too is, like, Brandon's having a kid, another kid soon. You're having a kid soon. Avery's not that old. Our other buddies are having kids. I mean, so we got a lot of kids around the same age, and I feel like things are just going to get more and more fun and more crazy. I'm waiting to see which one is the leader of the group and getting them all into trouble, because it's going to be one of them. I don't know who yet, but definitely one of them.
Kids. I'm going to guess Cam's
They might
kids.
be. They're twins, so I mean, they're destined to, like, I feel like if you got twins, I don't know. We'll see who it is, but Ty, it's that time. It's time for you to hit us with that dad joke, and we can see if how you are, because we've had a lot of good ones on guests on this show. We've had a good round of
ones. He can beat them.
I'm being nice, Brandon.
Yeah,
we want more guests on the show. We don't want to tear them down.
I hope some of y'all guests are listening, because I think Ty can beat all y'all.
I don't know.
He went to the deep throes of Reddit, knowing Ty. He went to subthread.
No, he said he went to Morgan, and Morgan's actually funny.
Oh, that's true.
I mean, you may have already heard this one, so I don't know. It sounds like a popular one, but I was cracking up about it. So you ready?
Okay.
Waiting with bated breath.
All right. So when does a joke become a dad joke?
Oh, when it becomes apparent.
There you go.
Yes.
Let's get it.
There it is.
That's a classic dad joke.
That's a good one.
That is a classic one. And you about to become a parent. So it works out pretty well.
Punny.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Ty, we really appreciate you being on the show. And again, like we said, this is our 99th episode. So our next episode is going to be the big 100, Brandon. We got a couple things we're going to plan to make it an extra special episode because it's also a top 10 episode. Every 10 episodes, we do a top 10 of sorts, where I do a top 5, Brandon does a top 5 on a couple different topics. So I can't wait, and I can't believe we've done 100 episodes. That's crazy. And we want to thank everyone because we've got a lot of...
Maybe we don't do it. I don't know.
We stop at 99. Well, we probably shouldn't stop because we've gotten a ton of listeners lately. We actually have been getting a lot of listens every single week. It seems like we're getting more and more listeners, so we can't thank you guys enough. If you haven't already, please tell your friends about us, like us on all our social media pages, leave a review, message us. We like hearing from each and every single one of you. We really, really do appreciate it. Like I said, when we started this thing before we even had kids to where we are now with, I don't know, we're close to 50,000 listeners. I mean, it's crazy. So thanks to every single person. Thank you to Ty for being on the show and for Brandon. But until next time, I'm Jerry, and you've been listening to Dad Jokes.